I thought we had a poor first half and a very good second half, and that's not going to cut it against a team like Chicago with two stars they got rolling, and we just didn't do enough in the first half to keep them from getting going, and they were great. But I did like our third quarter a lot, and I thought we did a lot of good things in the second half, but we're going to have to put 48 minutes together instead of 24.
But the third quarter just now, how big was Chris in that third quarter? I think he had scored 12 of his 16, and it looks like over the last few games he's kind of got a rhythm again.
Well, it's less about rhythm, and I think more about what he was doing defensively. I think he had played with great presence. He uses his length. He had a couple of steals, but they were steals that were set up by being in great position to start with. And I thought he was the guy, the tone setter for that. And then our interior defense, then everything got better. All of our interior defense. We adjusted some things with our bigs, with pick and roll coverage, and the third quarter was very good. And I thought the fourth, had stretches where we did good things. Thought Washington did a nice job for a guy that was tossed on a plane. He basically came up here this afternoon to be available to play in this game. With Lamb being unavailable and Malcolm. So there were some good things, but the first half was our undoing.
He had 9 assists, but the rest of the guards only had like 2 or 1 assist. So how much pressure from other guys to be that distributor?
Yeah, it's the NBA game is one sport where one person at one position can make a big difference. That additional playmaker that can score, that can pass it, that can defend. Having that one extra guy, in this case is Malcolm, and then look, and not having Lamb was a hit for us too. I mean, he did really many good things in the Houston game. So look, we're just going to have to hope that Mother Nature is kind on Malcolm's situation, and that in the next couple of days he can feel better and be ready to get back. In the meantime, we've got to stay in the fight. And we got to keep trying to get, 1 or 2% better every day. But we took a step back in the first half, and that was disappointing.
Vucevic changed that first half. It seemed like he really got off to a strong start.
Well, it completely changed our ability to play zone effectively, because you get a 7-1 guy that can, catch in the middle, score, pass it, step out for threes and stuff like that. He really changed the geometry of that whole thing. And I thought he's a terrific player. I mean, he does a lot of good things. His timely 3-point shots and some of his timely baskets. We had a couple gambles that he scored on. He hit a couple mid-range shots. He's a really good player, and he played well, and he was another factor for them.
Rick, you've referenced multiple times about how this league is as much a first quarter league as it is a fourth quarter league, the struggle mentally and physically to play from behind. How much was that dynamic in play tonight, as you guys had some nice second half runs, but that hole was obviously pretty deep?
Yeah. And, a lot of times in the sports world, how you start is kind of how you finish. Last time we were in here, we got off to a great start. We kept the momentum. You're not always going to do that. But tonight it was more, it felt like more a case of getting knocked back. And then after halftime, we responded well, but that's, it can't be like that. It's gotta be, we've got to have our disposition and posture where it needs to be. And it was all about defense. I mean, their points per possession were, like 1.36 against zone, 1.3 against man. I mean, they were both equally poor, but our presence and disposition were not where they needed to be.
Scott? Rick, I wanted to ask about that last point. Where does that start then, from that defensive end, that disposition and everything, and where does that feed into?
Where does it start? It just, I guess it starts with a mindset. It starts with an attitude. We're learning. We're learning where it starts. And I understand the question. I appreciate the question. It's a valid question. I guess the short answer is, I got to do a better job of getting these guys ready to play. I'm not gonna be a finger pointer. That's not my nature. But it's got to start with the coaches. We got to help put these guys in the right frame of mind. Obviously, the start tonight was not acceptable. You look at the first half, but we want to start games the way we did in the third quarter, and that's when we've been able to do that, it's always been a big plus for us.
All right, last two, Pat, and then Joey.
The 3-point line has been a struggle for the better part of a month or so now. It seems like for the most part, the looks are pretty good. Is there anything more that can be done from a coaching standpoint, or is this a pretty black and white type thing?
We're going to keep focusing on process. We want to generate as many good catch and shoot threes as possible. And that's been an emphasis really for the last several weeks. And getting Malcolm back, whenever it's possible to get Malcolm back and to get Jeremy back, that obviously boosts our ability to make shots. But as we go here, we're going to keep focusing on the guys that we have, and go from there. But I just feel, Pat, that in looking at our team now, after 35 games or whatever it is, that when our defensive attitude is there and we're in the right place defensively to start games, the shot making always tends to fall into place. And so it's just got to be an emphasis for us. We got to do better.
Go ahead, Tony.
Hey, Rick, you guys have been without Malcolm and TJ for a couple games now. And, Karras has shifted in and filled in those point guard minutes decently at least. But how hard is it to play with, makeshift point guard rotation or guys filling in who don't typically play there very much?
Yeah, listen, it's never easy. And you never want to get in a situation where, you're low on point guards in the NBA. It's just a position that's a very vulnerable one because so much starts with the point guard position. But I really like the way Karras is playing. Wanamaker's played a lot of quality minutes for us in the last several games. But look, there's no substitute for, having a Malcolm Brogdon out there playing. And so again, this is a Mother Nature thing. He's doing everything he can do with his rehab on it. We'll hope in the next couple of days that he can continue to make significant progress.
Defensive presence kind of getting going offensively in the third quarter. So what was it like to accept the challenge guarding guys like Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan?
I mean, that's something that I have to do. Something that I always get is that, when things not going well for you, you got to do something. You got to step it up defensively. You got to help the team somehow. And, that's, playing defense is one thing that you can really help your teammates and your team.
What have you learned about defending NBA players as opposed to college players?
I mean, they're gonna make shots. They're really good. They're gonna make shots. But just locking, know what they do and know what they like to do, and just hoping they miss the shots. It's try to stay in front and just contest. So
Offensively in that third quarter, what got you going? I guess it was kind of like this. We're not gonna lose like this kind of way. So what was your mentality to just help the team stay within striking distance?
Well, just first half I hesitate. I was hesitating too much, second guessing myself. We went into the we went into the locker room. Gave me time to think about the mistake I made and how I was playing, and came back out, not hesitating and taking what the defense gave me.
For me, you know, you've been like a 4 or 5 game stretch where you've been able to score pretty efficiently, making shots. It seemed like you kind of hit like the rookie wall, so to speak, and you've kind of bounced back from that. So I guess how have you just kind of maneuvered or continued to mature throughout, a long season?
Keep going, keep playing, keep going, keep playing through adversity. It's gonna be a lot of up and downs. It's a long season. That's something that I'm really trying to learn. It's gonna be a lot of up and downs. Having short memory term, so yes, keep playing and keep learning.
Chris, you took a little bit of a hit there in the final minute or two. Are you doing okay from that?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'll be fine. I got hit there before, and today I just got hit again, and it kind of hurt for a little bit, but I'm good.
Leonardo.
Cris, te saluda Leonardo Torres de Perú, espero que estés bien. Cris, acabas de hablar de los altibajos. ¿Qué has aprendido en este tiempo en la NBA para poder mantener tu mejor nivel y estirar una buena racha?
Como dije, Leonardo, seguir trabajando duro, seguir jugando duro. Van a haber muchas altas y bajas. Es algo que estoy aprendiendo. Es una larga temporada. Como lo dije anteriormente, van a haber muchas altas y bajas. Y nada, aprender y seguir jugando, seguir aprendiendo de los errores que hago. Y seguir jugando mi juego.
Y sobre tu defensa, ¿qué crees que puedes mejorar?
Siempre hay algo para mejorar. Seguir trabajando, tratando de quedarme al frente de los jugadores y seguir siendo educado en la defensa, no ir por el balón todo el tiempo y quedarme sale en defensa.
The defense kind of picking up in the third quarter. So was there anything like at halftime that you all talked about as far as anything tactical wise, or was it like an effort type of thing?
Man, I just think we got off the gate so slow. I'm not sure if guys were tired or I don't like to chalk it up to effort. So I really think that we do go out there and we try. But you gotta try harder. I mean, when you have a good team like this, you can't get out the gate slow because then you're just fighting from behind the entire game. So
What do you like about the way Chris came out in that third quarter? I mean, he had 12 points, but Rick was also saying he stepped up defensively.
Chris played great defense. That's what we asked him to do. We know he can score, but we've challenged him, to go out there and defend because that's what we need from him. Teams, it's just how the league works. Team makes it an emphasis to go at rookies. And I think some teams are, trying to go at him in a sense. And, this is where he has to get better and he's going to get better. This is when you're thrown in the fire like this, especially your first year, this is when you learn. He's learning on the fly.
What do you think he learned, particularly tonight, guarding two of the best wing players in the league?
It's a tough assignment, man. We can't expect him to go out there and be perfect. Those are tough for anybody. Those two guys are tough for anybody to guard. So I think he competed, and that's the biggest thing, or the best thing we can ask for him to do is compete.
Anybody on Zoom have anything? Go ahead.
Myles, how challenging is it physically, mentally to play from behind in a game like tonight? Because it seemed like there were a lot of positives out of the second half, but that hole you guys dug yourselves into was so deep.
I've been on teams in the past where we look forward to being down, double digits. Because that's when we knew we locked in and we guarded, I think, our best strength. Me personally, I don't mind it. I mean, I think, of course, I prefer not to dig myself in the hole, but, once your back's against the wall, that's when you got to compete. And, it's a make or break thing. And you see what you're made of, so, it's not a preference to play from behind, but, if we get, me personally, I get in that mode, then I think all the pressure's on the other team to maintain the lead as opposed to, us to, break it. So, I don't mind it.